This conference will now be recorded.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Nimbus Science Overview today. And today we're just going to be talking specifically about the Nimbus cm2 web. In other weeks we've talked about the band and the nutritional supplements, etc. But today's primarily focused just on the web. So first off, I want to talk about, give you a little background. I've been on this journey for 10 years, and maybe a little background of me. My name is Dale Gledhill, and I'm the Chief Science Officer here at Nimbus. I'm responsible for designing all the technology products that we introduced, and this all started 10 years ago when I was working with two doctors, Dr. Anderson, a foot and ankle surgeon, and Dr. Huntsman, a back surgeon. And since that time, we've come a long way and we've learned a lot. And for the next 20 minutes or so, we're going to share a little bit about this journey. So I'm going to take a look at this image right here. And this is really key to understanding about the Nimbus experience. So as you look at this, as you look at trees outside, they're beautiful and you can prune them and make them, do everything you can to make them look beautiful. But for a tree to really be beautiful and long-lasting and healthy and well, the tree is treated below the surface at the roots. The roots are where all the nutrition, all the water for the tree, everything for the tree is generated from below the surface, which you can't see. And I show this image because I really want you to think about that's how the body works. Instead of, we can put on all the lotions and potions on us and try to make us look beautiful, but it's the below the surface. It's the cell health is where amazing thing happens. And just like a tree, root health is the key, and like a human, cell health is the key. And so as we talk about this today, keep this image in your mind about root health and cell health and how they're so similar. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the technology that Nimbus has. First off, on the market today, and actually for the last 50 years, there's been all types of devices called PEMF, or we call them PEMF devices. And PEMF devices are devices that produce a pulsed electromagnetic field wave, PEMF. And from here on out, I'll just call it PEMF. And there's three pictures there on the left of some of the most common ones. And those are usually big circular coils. On the top one, it's actually three or four coils laying down flat. And those produce a pulsed electromagnetic field. The most of that, of that magnetic field, goes actually into a cone or straight up in infinity. If you look at those arrows coming off the diagram that's this PEMF wave, you'll see how the majority of a magnetic field coming off these type of devices actually just comes straight out from the coil, perpendicular to the coil, and they go into infinity. If you look on the right and left side of that diagram where it says PEMF wave, you'll see a circular wave that's emitting going from north to south, and that's a circular wave, and it's called a toroidal wave. The cm2 technology is different from all PEMF devices on the market in that we primarily focus on this toroidal wave. That's why Nimbus is the only company in the world that has these small, tiny coils to capture this toroidal wave. We don't care about this powerful magnetic field that goes into a cone and creating hot spots and cold spots. We just want a consistent, soft, generating toroidal wave pulse. So most of you have already seen the product called the Web. The Web is your product there in blue on the left. And the reason the Web is different, as you can see, there's 9 coils on that. And these are little tiny coils, and each one of those is producing a ball of energy. We call it that toroidal wave, like the diagram we just saw. The benefit to that is, one, there's no shadows. There's no hot or cold spots. It's all a consistent, low energy, pulsed electromagnetic field, or PEMF. But we call it cm2 because it's so different. We're the only ones in the world that focus on this toroidal aspect. And not only is it safer, but there also requires less power. We can run this with even a battery. We don't need to plug it in the wall, but it all runs off low voltage. And this toroidal wave is has shown to be very active in activating the cells at the atomic and also the ionic level. And we'll get into that more as we get into this presentation. So the birth of the cm2 technology, I want to tell you how this started. Oftentimes when someone has an injury, they'll, for example, you'll see a diagram, someone will have an Achilles or broken leg or something, and they'll either have to be non-weight bearing or inactive, and often they'll be given a fracture walker like on that picture. But after a period of time, you'll notice from the picture, and that's very common, you'll see that they've lost all that muscle, and that's just from inactive use. And if you were to look at that on an X-ray, which we'll show in a minute, you'll see that not only have they lost bone muscle, but also that bone, if you're looking at X-ray, would look very cloudy or gray, which means there's not very much density in that bone. So the next slide are slides of two individuals that were using our cm2 technology. The first one was post-op 10 days. The second one is, I think, 7 weeks non-weight, non-bearing, and you can't even tell the difference. The difference is because the cm2 technology, the toroidal wave, was keeping the cells active at the cellular level, not just the bone, but the muscle, the tissue, everything. And so there was very little atrophy. Most doctors call that bone cast disease. And the benefit to that is recovery. It's, you know, most often when someone's non-weight bearing, though, for 1 week non-weight bearing, there's 2 weeks of PT or physical therapy. In this case, physical therapy is cut drastically because their muscles are still in a great condition. So, and I just show you this slide. This is kind of fun because we have about 14 patents either issued or pending, and I just show this slide because once we knew what we had, that using these tiny microcoils and using this toroidal wave, we found that we felt that would be very beneficial. And now, through this 10-year journey, we're finding the amazing effects and benefits they're having on a lot of people's lives. So let's talk about the science of the products. So as you know, currently we have the Web, which you see picture on the left, and that's a larger one that we're not currently producing because the small one's working so much better, the Sport Web. And we also have a band, you see in the picture on the right. The band is a wrist device that's really designed to go on the wrist to treat, it affects the blood that comes through that radial and ulnar arteries. But today we're just talking about the Web. cm2 Web. cm2 is for cell matrix squared because we believe it makes a big difference on that cellular matrix. So to understand the technology, first you have to understand what every cell in your body has a task, and it's called cellular energy, and that's the ability to do work, cause or change, whether that's to grow hair, contract a muscle, make your heart pump. Every cell has a task to do, and every cell, they communicate together, but they also work independently. It has to metabolize, it has its own nucleus. They have to perform. That means that just like an engine in a car, a cell has to have a way to produce that energy. And that's, you know, we'll talk about the oxygen, nutrition, et cetera, as we get into this. But just remember, cells require energy to perform their task, no matter what it is. But remember, the entire human body is made of cells. And every cell is comprised of molecules and atoms, and they're all electrical. So, and within a cell, the process of energy is created at the mitochondria, which is called, it's a process called ADP. And ADP is really that inside a cell is releasing a phosphate molecule and picking one back up almost simultaneously. And this is a never-ending process. And this process is creates energy or electrical energy, so the cell has the ability to perform what it's designed to do, whatever, or to cause a change. So the Web, as we talked about, the Web is affects cellular energy. And how does it affect cellular energy? One of the things Web does is not only does it it appears to bring a lot more oxygen in the body, and we talked about that a previous week about affecting the red blood cells. But it also opens the cell membrane channels and allows for fluids to exchange, and that's exactly how cells communicate. Once the cells will open up channel fluids exchange, they need to be electrically charged. That brings in oxygen, that powers the ATP process, and when the web is pulsing the cm2 technology, it affects the cell membrane, encouraging the cells to open up these channels and to boost the process of the ADP process. So I wrote here, it's science. And the science is ion activity within a cell will increase and store energy if it has more oxygen nutrition. And that's the factor of just getting cells to open up. Also, when using the cm2 technology, it looks like the pH becomes more alkaline, which allows for more oxygen uptake. Another benefit that the cm2 has is it relaxes the vascular system, and that's generally because there's multiple medical studies showing how PEMF will induce the arteries into releasing nitric oxide, which will relax the artery walls, which has effect of releasing lowering blood pressure and just opening the human flow within the vascular system. And we already talked about that. It's called electroporation, which is where the cell gates open, allow for passage of fluids. And once again, these fluids are important because when those fluids, that's where nutrition, oxygen, the electrical connections, this is what gives cells power and energy to perform what they're designed to do. And then, of course, we talked about ATP, and the more the cells are active, the better the opportunity produced to boost that ATP, which means more energy. I just thought you'd like to know, there was a study done by Dr. Otto Warburg. He's a Nobel Prize laureate, and what's interesting about him, he was able to measure the voltage of cells. And this is just something I thought you'd like to know. Healthy cells are always in the range of 7 to 100 millivolts, negative millivolts. Normal cells, when operating properly, are usually around the 50 to 70. But they also found that cancer cells were in the 50 to 20 negative millivolt range. And what's important about that is it taught us that pathogens and cancer cells are low energy, and maybe that's one of the reasons they can hide so well from the body antibiotics. So cell energy is important. And we learned that usually bad cells or pathogens or cancer cells are in the low range. And let's just say you like to know, it may play a part as we get further in the discussion. So what does the Nimbus Web do? So one of the things that the Nimbus Web does, it's shown multiple times as it opens up the cell channels, it'll attack inflammation, and reducing inflammation will start the healing phase. Also, the beautiful thing about the web, it affects the entire musculoskeletal structure via energy movement, ionic movement within the cells. So as you lay the web, for example, on a knee or a shoulder, it'll affect the entire cell structure, just not the surface. That cm2 pulse is going entirely through that appendage or the area of treatment. We talked about swift reduction of inflammation, and that's really by cell activation. And when cells have more energy, when they're being able to your body's uptaking more oxygen, you'll feel an overall energy boost. And we already talked about improved vascularization, which is people with neuropathy and other blood flow issues. That's a tremendous health benefit. And that's just like a tree, going back to that image. If the roots are able to uptake more fluids for the tree or more nutrition for the tree, it just performs so much better. And that's the same with the body. When we get the cells within the body to carry more oxygen, carry more fluids, move them, be active, good things happen. So in previous weeks, we talked about the band. The band is primarily designed to separate red blood cells for oxygen uptake, and the web is designed more for treating target areas or helping target areas, helping the cells do what they're designed to do. What are the effects of healthy cell stuff? That's important to understand. When cells are healthy, and really let's define a healthy cell. A healthy cell is one that has and all the oxygen it needs to perform, all the nutrition it needs to perform properly, all the electrolytes in the fluid that come in and out of the cell to perform, and proper energy. When cells have those four ingredients, cells can do amazing things. First one's improved energy, better health and wellness, faster injury recovery, improved bone health and density, improved flexibility, better blood circulation, improved oxygen levels, potential reduced pain and narcotic use. And we're still learning. And there's a lot of things, you know, so many diseases, so many issues just go back to cell health. When cells get damaged or they're not performing as they're designed to do, that's when we start to have issues within the human body. Also thought you'd like to know and I wrote 2,000 medical studies, but if you look carefully and spend a lot of time, you'll find there's probably closer to 5,000 medical studies worldwide that people are studying about pulse electromagnetic fields. Even though the cm2 is different than the standard PEM, the effects at the molecular level are very similar. So there's, I just did a quick overview, 18 studies on edema or inflammation, 372 plus studies on bone non-union, 64 on pain reduction, another 200 on soft tissue repair and growth, 35 nerve regeneration, plantar fasciitis, there's just a tremendous amount, osteoporosis 31 plus, and I know that's closer to 100 now. Cancer, there's another 25 plus studies, osteoarthritis 34 studies, arthritis 33 studies, bone cast disease, diabetic ulcers, Charcot foot, depression, carpal tunnel syndrome. There's a lot, and I only show this slide to really, it's not that cm2 or PEM for this technology out there is designed to treat an ailment. What we're talking about is cell health. If you can help the body cells become healthier, the body has the ability to heal itself in so many ways. And so as you think about it, we never say, hey, cm2 technology will fix this. It doesn't fix anything. What cm2 does is help the cells regain their homeostasis and balance so the body can do amazing things. I want to talk about the Nimbus cell health matrix because this is really our basis for cell health. First, top square with the girl, the runner, it says start cell health today. If you really want to have healthy cells and have a life of wellness and happiness, and you have to just start. You have to make a commitment. I'm going to do something. That's the first commitment, and it can't be a soft commitment. It's got to be a hard commitment. The next thing is you need to boost the cell energy, either by using the cm2 pulse band or cm2 web, and that'll affect it from so many ways, but primarily it'll improve the oxygen uptake within the body. When red blood cells are separated, and that was discussed in the previous science meeting, when red blood cells are separated, the ability to carry oxygen and nutrition improve significantly. And as we talked, all of our cells need this nutrition, need this oxygen, and we really can't give them too much. And our cells want to be healthy. They want to have a lot of energy. The next thing is at Nimbus here, we produce a product called Charge and Hydrate, and that's important. You know, Charge and Hydrate is our brand, is a Nimbus brand of electrolytes. It's designed very specifically. The big name brands that have advertised on every sports channel you can imagine talk about the electrolytes, how important they are to the body, and I think they've just taught the world that it's just about, hey, you'll run faster. But really, what electrolytes are designed to do, there are four minerals that, when combined, they help create an electrical connection. And why that's important, your body's about 60 to 70% water, depending on who, you know, give or take on body size. And we talked earlier about how cells open up, exchange fluids, and that's how cells communicate. Well, this fluid needs to be electrically charged, and that's what electrolytes do. So we designed a product that has twice electrolytes per as a normal standard over-the-counter electrolyte drink that you can buy at any convenience store, but with only 10 calories. One of the problems with the over-the-counter products you buy now at your local convenience store is that they're too many calories. And so the charge of hydrate will give you enough electrolytes to help on the cellular level. Remember, everything in your body is electrical. These fluids need to be electrical because as everything we do is about electrical connections with the body. The next product I want to talk about is the, we've already gone over that, is the Nimbus product called Base. The reason we created Base, it's a very different product. Most companies would have turned this into 4 or 5 different products. This product is, it's an all-in-one. It has minerals, has vitamins, it has greens or antioxidants, and also has enzymes for gut health. And instead of creating 4-in-1, we put all-in-one, and that's so as blood cells are separated and your cells start functioning, you can give the cells the nutrition they need. You can break the food down properly with good gut enzymes. It has antioxidants. This is what you need. We call it a pantry. You know, a lot of people say, well, I don't take vitamins because I know my body just wastes a lot of them. It's true. You do waste some vitamins. You know, you become waste products. You urinate them. But I liken a good full spectrum vitamin product as like a pantry. If you don't stock the pantry in your small intestines, is where your blood cells come by and pick up that nutrition, the body can't take it. Your body will need different nutrition needs, have different nutrition needs at different times during the day. If there's no vitamin B or C or D there available, it can't take it. So, you know, I take myself, I take a charge of hydrate and this base every single day because I know I just want to keep the pantry stocked. The next part of it is called Extend Cell. And what I mean by this is we can do all these great things, but you need to eat well and you need to be active. And part of cell health is you can't just use the band or the web and drink one charge of hydrate and a base and sit on the couch all day. It'll help significantly if you can also have a good diet and also be active lifestyle. And the last one is the last square is expect cell health. If you can focus on this Nimbus cell health matrix, start, boost, improve with charge and hydrate, balance with base, extend with good appetite, good diet and activity, then you can expect good cell health. And as we talked earlier, looking at the tree, cell health is the critical part to good health. And just like the tree there, the roots is where all this happens. It's not lotions and potions, it's the roots where all this happens. And Nimbus, that's what we're all about. We know, and once again, my name's Dale, so I'll talk about Dale. The only person that can heal Dale is Dale. And that's the same with you if you're listening to this call. You can do all the necessary things to get your cells in a healthy spot so now they can perform their tasks. And that's what I want you to think about as we get ready to wrap this call up. Cell health is the key to wellness, health, and happiness. And I'm going to leave with the same image that we started. Look at the roots. They're just like the cells within your body. I want to thank you for your time tonight or today, whenever you're listening to this call, because many people are listening from the world. And remember, the body is amazing when cells are healthy. And healthy cells require energy, oxygen, electrolytes, and good nutrition. Thanks, and I look forward to talking to you again.
This conference will now be recorded.